Good morning and welcome to virtual Birmingham Unitarian Church. Today is our Youth Sunday, rope, and bridging service. My name is Rakesh Deering and I'm part of BUC's high school program, Goosh. Goosh is a high school program which focuses on bettering the communities we are in and around us. The junior high school group is called UFO, and the rope group will be presenting their three credos today. Rope is the rite of passage experience, and with the time they've had, they try to find out who they are and what they stand for. There's also a senior reflection that is being presented to us today. The other youth and I are extremely grateful for BUC, as their support of youth ministry is incredibly impactful to my life and others who have gone through these programs. The themes today are transitions and change, and these will be reflected throughout the service. We have a couple announcements this week as well. This Thursday, June 11th, the BUC Social and Environmental Justice Team invites you to their fourth Beyond Voting session, supporting our elections. We will hear about how citizens can be more engaged in the electoral process, including being an election worker, the ins and outs of absentee voting, and what is being done to keep elections secure. Our speaker is Lisa Brown, the Oakland County Clerk, but most of the material applies to any Michigan resident. The event begins at 7 p.m. on Thursday on Zoom. The link will be in the weekly email shoutout and on our website and Facebook page. BUCers and friends are also invited and urged to participate in a caravan up Woodward Avenue today to demonstrate solidarity with Black lives. Join with thousands of people across our state and around the country who are rising up to say that we must and will take action to confront the structural racism and police brutality that harm the lives and bodies of Black people while most of us go about our daily lives undeterred. The caravan will form in the Marshall's parking lot at 8 Mile and Woodward around 1 o'clock and then travel north to a rally point at our church. Yes, we are serving as the host site for this important event. After the rally, that will last about 40 minutes, the caravan will resume south on Woodward Avenue. People will stay in their cars during the rally or at a safe distance from each other or across the parking lots. If you prefer to find a spot along Woodward Avenue to cheer on the caravan, that is also welcome. Please take time today to participate if you can. Our voices are needed. Thank you again for joining us this morning or whenever you're watching this. Although we are not together physically, we are together in spirit, and it is good to be together again. And with that, our service will begin.
I'm Aiden. I'm in 11th grade, and I'll be playing The Sunken Cathedral by Debussy.
Hi, I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Audrey, and today we're going to light your chalice.
As we worship in our separate homes this morning, we are joined by other Unitarian Universalists in lighting our chalice.
In this drastic time, we're seeing great changes being made due to COVID-19. To some of you, it might feel overwhelming, trying to keep up with the latest news report and stay safe while stuck in quarantine. That's where transition comes to play. Transition, as said by William Bridges in his book, Making Sense of Life Changes, is the inner reorientation and self-redefinition that your body must go through in order to incorporate changes into your life. You must first adapt to changes before you can grow from them.
So we light this chalice as a symbol of taking control and adapting to the changes in our life.
Our first hymn is number 1007, There is a River Flowing in My Soul.
Turn the camera.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing in my soul.
I'm Abby Schreck, and I'm in 11th grade. Our opening words this morning come from Seasons of Our Lives by Richard M. Fuchs. Creator of all times and seasons, and of all the seasons of our lives, we gather in this place thankful for the days that have been, even those that have tried our souls, and hopeful for the days that shall be, even those that shall demand of us the best that we have of faith and hope and courage, till we have become one with ourselves and thee in all the seasons to come. Thus ends our reading. Our Youth Sunday this year is new and different for us all. Such is the case for most things in our lives today. These may be the seasons that are trying our souls and testing our faith. As our rope students give their credos and move into high school, and as our seniors bridge into adulthood, let us take time to appreciate the season and moment we are in now. It is not an easy one by any stretch of the imagination, but like all seasons of our lives, we will emerge stronger into a new and challenging but beautiful season in our life.
Hello, I'm Bradley Cordoville. I'm in 11th grade and I'll be reading The Good Egg. Oh, hello. I was just rescuing this cat. Know why? Because I'm a good egg. A very good egg. It's true. I do all kinds of good things, like I'll carry your groceries, I'll water your plants, I'll change your tires, I'll paint your house. If you need help whatsoever, I'm your egg. I've always been a good egg. It's been this way from the start, even in my earliest days. Back at the store. There were a dozen of us living under one recycled roof. There was Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelley and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and other Frank. The other 11 eggs weren't on their best behavior. They weren't exactly good. They ignored their bedtime. They only ate sugary cereal. They threw tantrums. They cried for no reason. They broke their stuff on purpose. Meanwhile, I tried to take charge. I tried to fix their bad behavior. I tried to keep the peace, because I'm a good egg. A very good egg. No one seemed to care, though. Every night I was exhausted and my head felt scrambled. Then, one fateful morning, I noticed some cracks in my shell. They were everywhere. My doctor said it was from all the pressure I was putting on myself, the pressure of making sure everybody was good as me. I was cracking up, literally. Something had to change. I had enough. I told Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelley and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and other Frank I was leaving. I can't be the only good egg in this bad carton, I said. Blah, 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 they replied. I left that night. I wandered from town to town. The hours became days. Days became weeks. I'd lost track of time. I was alone. Out there on the road, under the stars, I really tried to focus on myself and what I needed. I took walks. I read books. I floated in the river. I wrote in my journal. I found simple moments to be quiet. I breathed in. I breathed out. I even started painting. For once, I found time for me. And guess what? Little by little, the cracks in my head started to heal, and my head no longer felt scrambled. I started to feel like myself again. So I've made a big decision. I'm returning to my old carton and my friends. Besides, I'm kind of lonely out here. This time, I know what I need to do. I'll try not to worry so much. I'll be good to my fellow eggs while also being good to myself. Here we go. Everybody missed me, and I missed them too. Hello, Meg. Howdy, Peg. Hey, Greg. Greetings, Clegg. What's up, Shell? Hola, Shelly. Heyo, Sheldon. Hi, Shelly. Good day, Egbert. What's happening, Frank? Howdy, other Frank. Sure, every once in a while somebody's still a bit bad, but it's not like before. Here's what I realized. The other eggs aren't perfect, and I don't have to be either. I'm okay with that. Yep, the old carton's back together. We're a solid dozen again. It's good to be home.
Good morning. My name is Raina Deering, and I'm finishing the 7th grade. We have reached the time in our service when we ask you for your financial support. One of the many reasons I feel connected to our church is because of the first principle, which describes how everyone is welcome and valued in the UU community. I also love learning about religions and people that are different from us and how to accept them. Why is BUC important to you? One way we show our UU values is by giving money towards the church. Your contributions can be sent using Venmo, username @BUCMI, or through our website. Giving through either platform is easy and free. You can also put a check in the mail to us. I ask you to consider how much you've relied on BUC in the past 3 months and do what you can to support our good work. Please give generously.
Hello, I'm Holly Cordoville, and I'm in 8th grade, and I'll be playing a song that I wrote called Outside Your Window. Panic people mill around, wondering when the stores are clearing out. Buying all the toilet paper rolls, every material for the life is so much more than this, and the media that do this. Just look away, and then you'll see there's so much more than you and me. There's so much more just outside your window. Open the door and then you see. You don't need to look so far, anything can happen. Your own backyard. Quiet and empty streets, ghost town of buried trees, soaking up the headlines of the latest disaster, forgetting that thereafter there's a world. But life is so much more than this. The media that do this, there's trees to climb and mountains to move. Why stay inside? What will you choose? There's so much more just outside your window. Open the door and then you see. You don't need to look so far, anything can happen. Your own backyard. Oh, your own backyard. Does it put life in perspective? All the beauty in the world that we live in. Does it show how small that we are? Maybe our problems are too big from the start. Life is so much more than this, and only media that do this. Just look away, and then you'll see there's so much more than you and me. There's so much more just outside your window. Open the door and then you see. You don't need to look so far, anything can happen. Your own backyard. Maybe our problems so big from the start.
Now is the time in our, my name is Nate Schreck. I'm in 9th grade. Now is the time in our service set aside for prayer and reflection. We'll begin with a sharing of joys and sorrows. We have only one joy this week. It is from Larry Larson. He says he is grateful that all 50 states are now saying Black Lives Matter. Please join me in a moment of reflection. For All That Is Our Lives by Eric Walter Wixom. May we be reminded that all things come and go, that today's joys and today's sorrows will in time give way to those of tomorrow, and that those of us who have the strength to share today ought to do so while we can, and that those who are in need ought allow ourselves to receive. For tomorrow, those roles might well be reversed. Spirit of life, Mother and Father of us all, help us to remember those who are not with us today, those who need what we have found here, and those who have what we here need. May we always be open to growth and change, to movement and to grace. Thus ends our reading. Regarding the recent murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor at the hands of the police and ensuing protests in our country and around the world, I think it's important that we all reflect upon ourselves. Think about what you have done to help our Black siblings. Think about what you can do to help our Black siblings. What will you do? How will you use your privilege?
Good morning. I'm glad to be here today. Life still goes on even during quarantine. Even though life is crazy right now, I still get to have the chance to present my faith to you all. I've been a part of this church my whole life. I started in the nursery and moved up through the classes in what seemed like a blink of an eye. I watched my brother and sister present their faith like I am today. I've learned so much from all these years of education. I've learned about different religions, cultures, and many things about myself along the way. I was excited and nervous to start this new class. I tend to be an indecisive person, so picking one faith to present was thoroughly nerve-wracking. To be honest, I still don't know 100% what I believe in, but I think I have a pretty good idea of what I want to say today. I'm Unitarian Universalist. I always have been, I always will be. I love the community here. I know I'm not limited by the beliefs of others, but supported. I was trying to come up with a personal story to share today, but my brain kept coming back to one memory. The summer church egg drop. Funny, right? During the activity, we would go up on a tall ladder and drop eggs that were surrounded by contraptions of plastic straws and cups. I promise this is relevant. The Unitarian Universalist Church is my contraption of plastic straws and cups. I know that if I fall, that you all will be here to support me. You'll keep me from cracking like an egg on the pavement. I will continue to follow the 7 principles and learn about myself and what I believe in. I'm Lacey Court, and I am Unitarian Universalist.
Hi, I'm Victor Mangulkar. I'm a junior, and I'm going to be playing Luster by Gavin Luke.
Hello, my name is Sarah Phillips. I'm in 8th grade, and this is my credo. I've been going to BUC for about
4 years. My mom, Valerie, works here as the administrator, and my brother, Trent, is in ninth grade. I'm glad that my mom chose this church to go to. I think it's important that we make informed decisions, especially if it's something that can make a huge difference in someone's life, such as our faith. I like how this church teaches its congregants about a variety of faiths and allows us to decide which one makes the most sense to us. The world class has made me think a lot more about my beliefs and also to think critically and question things, as opposed to being taught what is true. When I was growing up, before I started going to the church, I didn't know much about religion. We never went to church on Sundays, and the subject of religion made me sort of uncomfortable because I didn't understand it. For most of my life, the only memorable religious experiences I had were at YMCA camps. In fifth grade, I went to a YMCA camp called Camp Store with all the other fifth graders in my school. It was a whole week filled with hands-on educational experiences. The dining hall there was huge. It was our meeting place where we would gather in between activities and have our meals. Inside the dining hall was a sign that said, "I'm third." One of the camp counselors explained to us that the sign meant that you put God first, your friend second, and yourself third. That God should be the most important thing to you, followed by your friends, and then yourself. I thought it was odd that a public school would take us to a camp that promotes religion to us. I thought to myself, what if you don't believe in a God? I don't think you have to put God first. God is not a part in everyone's life. Some people believe in God and others don't. I prefer to put both myself and the people I care about first. You want to be kind, generous, and caring towards your friends and family, but you also need to take care of yourself. For me, it is okay for people to have different beliefs about God. If God is your motivation to be a good person, you're still a good person regardless. Personally, I want to be a good person to make the people on earth happy. I'm not sure if God exists or not, but I do know that the people I talk to and live with are real, and I can make them happy. I believe in people. I think that people can do good things for each other, even if they're small actions. My dad, my brother, and I sometimes help out at an organization called Sleep in Heavenly Peace. The organization delivers beds to families who need them. My dad transports the pieces of the beds in his van. We come to their houses and build the beds in their homes. It doesn't take a lot of effort to build the bed. I like having completed something that benefited someone. Doing good is its own reward because I feel good when I help others. But more than that, I want to do good things for people because it makes them feel good. I'm more willing to do things for others too. We all benefit from people do good things for each other. Not only do I believe in people, I believe in science. I think that science is a very powerful tool. A long time ago, when we didn't know as much about the world around us, people used religion as a way to answer their questions. The ancient Greeks interpreted solar eclipses as a punishment. The gods were angry with them, so their sun god abandoned them. Now, we know that solar eclipses are caused by the moon getting in between the sun and the earth. The unknowns about the world have been a source of fear throughout history. The fact that science is shrinking those unknowns is a comfort to me. There are some things that can't be answered by science, like why we're here on Earth. For those questions, we have to look inside ourselves. For myself, I think that I am here to make a positive impact on people. I want to make people happy. I want people to have understanding, and I want to stand up for what is right. I want to help shrink the unknown. Even if my efforts only impact a couple of people, a little can go a long way. While we might find different answers, it's different. I believe that the diversity of we are still getting closer to answering those questions in the world all the time. I'd like to think that one day some people may put God first, but I prefer to put both.
Well, folks, I think that we've lost Sarah, which is unfortunate. I heard that credo yesterday, and it is great. There will be a manuscript available on the website, which will have the entirety of the service. So sorry I didn't get to hear that today. But Jacob, I think we'll go ahead and move on to the next musical piece.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Jacob Body from UFO, and I will be playing Roar by Katy Perry on my B-flat clarinet.
Hello, I'm Holly Cordoville, and I'm in 8th grade, and this is my credo. When I was younger, I asked a lot of questions. It's one of the first things we do as humans, to learn about our surrounding environment. Every time I asked questions, I expected my parents to know all the answers. 'Cause they're adults. What don't they know? But Unfortunately for me, even adults don't have all the right answers. So I came to a roadblock. My family went to a Christian church until I was in about 3rd or 4th grade. I don't remember that much that stood out from that church. I found services very long and boring and would end up tuning out most of it. I was happy when I finally got to go to class and get away from the service. I did make friends there, but I never did believe in God in the traditional sense. If there was a God, I believed in something more abstract. Everyone in my family believed very differently. Because of this, my parents decided to come here. Throughout my time here, I became accustomed to many different religions and our principles. I started to realize how many other beliefs are out there differing from my own, and how beautiful it was to see those people welcoming us to their places of worship. For many of the religions, I liked some of their ideas, but none ever really satisfied me when it came to their explanations. So many unique beliefs, all to answer the same set of questions. Where did we originate from? Who or what is God? Is life fate or coincidence? What happens after death? Am I here for a specific reason? How does the universe work? Do we live in an enhanced matrix in which we are being used and grown by robots? I tried hard over these last years to find a definite answer to these questions. But is it fair to say each one has one answer? Is it fair to say any of them can be answered? So far, there is not a large allotment of sufficient evidence to point in either direction being right or wrong. I like to think the beauty is that there isn't an answer. It now gives us room to explore and ponder many different things. Because we don't know, the door is open to so many fascinating possibilities. I would rather not know one answer. This uncertainty makes life so much more interesting and much less fixated on one individual belief. There would be no zeal in life if we already knew all the right answers. So I admit that I don't know the answers to my questions, and I don't particularly want to know the answers. Right now, I will keep asking questions. Maybe someday I will think differently about them. I'm very excited to start a new part of my spiritual journey. I will continue to listen to others' beliefs and strive to live with an open mind.
My name is Raina Deering, and I will be singing Stand By Me by Benny King. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me.
Good morning. My name is Emma Van Houten, and today I would like to share with you my senior reflection. I very recently graduated from Cranbrook Kingswood, And to say the least, this experience was not what I'd pictured, turned over in my mind, daydreamed about, or even sometimes avoided thinking about. I did not march up 2 by 2 to receive my diploma. We didn't rehearse our graduation ceremony during the weeks before. I couldn't even call it anticlimactic, for much of the anticipation was cut off as well. Even now, it doesn't feel entirely authentic. I am long past the point of thinking that I will wake up one morning and COVID-19 will no longer be paralyzing our nation and the world. This is no nightmare, but it is also not the end. Between my spring break and now, I felt a little lost. But my life during these months was not miserable. I was able to reconnect with my parents and my brother, whom I rarely see as he is 2 years my senior and would have been living at college otherwise. My boyfriend is also living with us because it is more practical than returning to his home in China and trying to re-enter the US for college. Surrounded by these loved ones, my life has been pretty good. Beneath it all, though, there was still a deep sense of loss, one I often had trouble articulating. I said a few times that my 15 years at Cranbrook would be leading up to nothing. With the help of my family and friends, though, I am realizing that this is only true if I allow it to be true. It is only true if I lean too heavily on traditions and permit them to define and shape the experiences which they initiate or conclude. Graduation is not high school, and bridging is not my UU experience. They are capstones, but they are not integral to the foundation. I'm finding that what really matters is the moments when I laughed with my friends on the Boston trip, or attempted to Naruto run across the courtyard at Kingswood and ended up falling in the springtime mud. It's catching frogs at the pond at the end of Faculty Way. It's rowing practices, it's quiet Sundays at VUC. I am the girl who read her credo these 4 short years ago, who walked Cranbrook's campus nearly every day for so long that she can now walk parts of it with her eyes closed. I've lived all of this, and through sorrow, I have found joy time and time again. I have led a joyous life, and I intend to continue to do so. That is up to me, not anyone else, and certainly not a pandemic. The world can strive to take your joy, but only you can give it up. Thank you.
Before we begin our bridging, can we just take a moment to acknowledge the amazingness of our young people? Youth Sunday is my favorite regular service of the year. I am always inspired by the creativity, the wisdom, the bravery that we can learn from our 6th through 12th graders. And here we are, there are dogs barking and internet issues and God knows what else, but they've still come through with this amazingness. I'm so grateful to them. So bridging. Bridging is a Unitarian Universalist rite of passage that celebrates a young person's transition from adolescence to adulthood. It is the capstone achievement of our K through 12 religious education program and a symbol of a major milestone in your spiritual formation, which is never done. Spiritual formation is a lifelong process, but this is a major turning point. You are no longer Unitarian Universalist youth. You are now UU young adults. This year, we are celebrating the bridging of Emma Forgery, Olivia Sim, Madeline Taylor, and of course, Emma Van Houten, who just provided that amazing reflection. So many high school graduation messages are based on the idea that the world is yours, that you go forth as a victor and a conqueror. And we are proud of you. And we know that you will do great things in this world. But your job is not to go out and conquer the world. Your job is to go out and work for the healing of this world just by being who you are. We know you to be kind, caring young people. No matter what road life leads you down, may you always be in touch with that core of your being that knows your inherent worth and that knows the inherent worth of every person, even the ones that you don't like. There can be a lot of pressure on a young person to know what you will do with the rest of your life. I ask you to just please ignore that. There are so many paths to take, paths you've never heard of, paths that don't even exist yet. It's a good idea to have a direction in which to stay open to new paths that will present themselves. As Howard Thurman wrote, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. I encourage you to explore every single thing that makes your heart sing and to be bold in your decisions. You are beginning your adulthood during a time that is profoundly weird. And I know that I cannot imagine how it feels to be in your position, but I want you to know that I also have been through a variety of weird experiences in my lifetime. As your minister, I will walk alongside you through this weird experience and whatever else life throws your way. And there are a lot of people in this church who feel the same way. We are all rooting for you. Whatever it is that you're feeling today, I hope that you know how much this church loves you, how proud we are of you, and how much we wait in anticipation to watch your lives continue to unfold. We are going to make our traditional bridge of hands from our homes, but first we have some people to thank. First of all, I want to thank everybody who taught and who gave of their time this year to our religious education program. We usually have a big service to celebrate you, but this is what we have today. Thank you all. I want to thank next especially our rope advisors, Amelia Ascari, Tanya Nordhaus, Doug Body, and Dave Graham. For you today, we have the coveted Chalice lapel pin. We'll put these in the mail to you shortly. Thank you for all of the time and energy that you spent this year in what was, again, a profoundly weird experience. I want to thank and acknowledge and praise our young people who completed rope this year. All three of you will receive these exciting UU wrist bracelets that are very stylish. These were made in Guatemala, fair trade. And lastly, our seniors who are launching off into adulthood. We have Becoming, which is a book about being a young adult in Unitarian Universalism. It has some poetry, has some ideas for leading services for yourself and other young people. It's got some songs in it. It's a really good piece of literature. So we'll put that in the mail to you too. Okay, so bridging at home. Here's what I could come up with. Usually we reach across the aisle to make a bridge, and our seniors walk down that aisle to meet all of the adults that have helped to shape them into who they are today and join them as adults, but we can't do that. So here's what we're going to do instead. I invite you to put your hands together in this kind of bridge, and if there's more than one of you in a house, you can make your own bridge there. There you go. Good work, everybody. Okay, so usually we have those young people walk down and we all say a blessing. So I'm going to invite you, even though we're muted, to share a blessing for our 4 graduating seniors. And just go ahead and say what you hope for their future. Okay. All right. So with that, we will conclude our bridging. Welcome to your adulthood as a Unitarian Universalist. Congratulations.
Our last hymn is number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each other.
I am Gabe Loomis from 7th grade. As you go, remember this: life is a puzzle, but it is up to you to find out where pieces fit. Go now in peace.